Welcome to today's show. It's called the Karma Line, and that's KL, and in digits, it's star 1 on June 2nd, 2026. K symbolizes ice and fire merged to mystery. K is the natural 10th letter, or 10, demonstrating the highest power inside the K, or the mystery. The letter L is naturally 11th, or 1, demonstrating a renewal of A and 1. And L is a sum of A and L, or all, ow, the root word for all. The Karman line is an imagined line of containment that keeps Earth life forms from being invaded by the vacuum of space.
Now, a short message from our sponsor. Hose and who's your daddy to dissolve the matrix you created, and it is 100% effective to progress past 7, because 7 days are made for the weaklings, not for the weak. 7, when reduced as a word, is SVN, meaning S for 8. 1 for you just won something, so the 8, 1, N, which represents the child. 7 did not eat 8. 7 is the gatekeeper to 8 and 9. Now back to our program.
The Karman line is a conventional definition of the edge of space, or the containment zone of the Earth where life can exist. It is widely accepted. The FAI plus K, which is silent.
Yes, instead of
Fake.
if you pronounce the K, it would just be fake.
Right.
So that's an international association of globalists who got together and decided what the Karman line is. So It's the FAI, but it has an invisible and silent K after it. When seen and spoken, it would be pronounced fake. So anyway, what were you saying?
Well, the FAI defines the Karman line at an altitude of 100 kilometers, that's 62 miles above mean sea level. The man named Karman conveniently made this discovery from JPL in 1950. JPL is the occult beginnings of the federal agency of NASA.
What's in a word? Well, there could be a lie, there could be a truth, or there could be twists and turns, because words got it like that. They could do anything. So inside the word Karman, it's actually an ancient use and a beginnings of the word karma used in the ancient theologies. So let's have a look at the history of what's in a word, the word karma.
The history of Karman is revealing. Karman is an action word meaning a deed or to do. It originates from Sanskrit word karman, which translates to action or deed and is associated with karma, reflecting the effects of a person's behavior and speech and actions. Karman is a neuter noun in Sanskrit linked to the root kr, meaning to do or to make. In Hinduism and Buddhism and Jainism, Sikhism? Jainism and Sikhism, Karman signifies how what a human projects onto others is what they receive back.
And in the natural aggregation of humans, civilizations, and their language, we now know that kr is the root word in Sanskrit for the meaning of to do or to make. So what does kr mean now that we've had time to look over the symbols and their meanings? Well, K is the format of a human being, and R is the repeating and returning of a human being. So karma is you get back exactly what you give out.
And now we're going to have a conversation with Garish Garth. And Garth said, I'm not familiar. Is there a name for this thing you do where you break up words or rearrange them?
Well, English is a compound language made up of root words from other languages. So it's basically taking what's been put together and congealed and taking it apart to reveal what might be missing in the meanings as we use the words. So it's called word deconstruction. English is made of these older words, but the sounds and emotions are the main connector. We're in an inverted world right now, so many clues reveal themselves by reversing the word.
In what way is it inverted?
Well, the Prince of Duality and Archon runs the material world, so we are taught or embrace duality or picking sides.
Who is the Prince of Duality?
Well, of course, you would want to know that, but it's a nameless and many named Archon we created over eons. But in the sound of, say, 10 or the digit 10, it's also the symbols 1 and 0, or the binary system of on and off. And it's also the duality system, or the duality construct of pick a side. It's a trick of a jester, which can be observed as observable reality.
So this isn't a Christian-based belief?
Well, of course, you'd want to know that too. But I study all religions, but I am not a member of any.
Sorry, that was poorly worded. This doesn't sound like anything I've heard from Christian teachings. Is there a specific religion this idea belongs to?
Well, you could think of the two-word phrase self-actualization, and my wife and I have been on this journey to find the truth for the last 40 years, and we did it as a team. So we studied all there is on theology, mysticism, the true history, and relationships between humans.
I'm sorry, I don't understand this answer in reference to my question.
Well, observable reality doesn't need any claims. The claimers bear the weight of the demonstration. So for some reason, this ended the conversation.
And now a convo with Hammer about the ether.
Well, let's start with hydrogen, supposedly the most abundant element everywhere, anywhere, throughout Earth and the universe. Hydrogen. Well, it's actually two words, hydro and gen, and it means the generation from air or water, which is the creative force, and it's named hydrogen. And it's been found in recent studies to be not the simplest element, but the most complex element. The truth of dark matter is that it is an intelligent and powerful energetic plasma field known as the ether. Ether exists in and around all things. They're plasma fields. The largest organ of the human anatomy is a plasma field named the interstitium, and the plasma is named interstitial fluid.
So we observe ether? Where? Again, any evidence for it?
Well, we all prove it every day to ourselves in our daily activities as we bend realities from ideas within the plasma fields. And there are literally hundreds, probably thousands, of books on plasma and the ether and how humans interact with it.
And Hammer said, I will appreciate a citation for this. Surely this has been tested and you have evidence for it.
Well, if I was a vending machine, you could just put a few coins in and just press me like a button, but I'm not. But I'll tell you this, the word plasma is two parts. Plas in Greek means to mold or bend reality, and ma, means the land of. Plasma is the land of bending reality.
Well, Hammer responded, and you are back on your language nonsense. So if I suppose to ask you what about in my language, what would you say?
So I would tell you the rest of the conversation, but basically it ended.
Plasma is also formless in its nature. It has a still point of force intelligence that powers it, that is uncatchable by man. The word plas inside the word plasma, when spoken, combines pol plus as, and is reference and reverence to the appearance of material universes in which man is the highest form and power to mold realities. All through Latin times and language, the word ether is the same meaning as aura, air, and spirit. In Greek, it was pneuma and ruach. In English, it was Christ's essence and the soul or spirit. The deification of a creator of the material universe is tracked back 30,000 years, but the intelligent designer and power of creation manifests continuously and is knowable in its expressions in nature and stories and mankind.
Well, that sounds like the target, what you just said. So, where are we starting from? We're starting from a Roman Empire that doesn't want to stop expanding because after their literal civilization fell, they consolidated in the Vatican or the HRC. That's not for Hillary Rodham Clinton, although it is a strange coincidence. It's for the Holy Roman Church. And through the Jesuit military arm, they've been ruling the world for quite a while. So North America and the West is serving as a new Atlantis or a new Babylon or a new Rome, an extension of the existing Babylon Roman Empire that seeks to corral and reunite all the professing Christians or declarers of freedom. And then they would be claimed under the self-proclaimed authority of the Holy Roman Church. Not Hillary Rodham Clinton, although she'll probably be around on the TV screen saying something mean to you. So according to Manly Hall, one of the most famous Freemasons, the American Republic was designed by occultists to be a continuation of the Roman Empire, the New Rome or the New Atlantis. And Mr. Hall claimed this was an attempt at resurrecting the intellectual and philosophical ideals of the ancients.
According to author James Parton, if one is to trace masonry through all its orders till one comes to the head mason of the world, one will discover that the head individual and the superior general of the Jesuit order are one and the same person. Thus, it makes sense why Hall was an advocate of New Rome. The same Roman eagle has been steering world affairs for millennia, first through the empire and now through the Vatican, as well as its military arm, the Jesuits, and their long game is finally reaching its apex.
But since their eyes are always on us, they must want something from us. So maybe if we find what it is, we could just claim it because it must belong to us. But we shouldn't be surprised by the oppression of the common man and the perversion of justice and inversions of order on every level of every category. We can find comfort in knowing that today's kings, the politicians and media arms, are subject to a higher power of natural order.
This next section is called The Pull is the Magnet. The heart acts as a nuclear reactor as it pulls and pulses toward the essence magnet hidden in the heart. This essence point is a piece of the axis of the universe, and it is bedded into every newborn child for life. Each pulse of the heart results in dur, or a bursting out of creation and creativity, where each owner of a lonely heart has independence as a bender of realities and the powers to know thyself.
But we have two halves of our brain. One side's calculating or logic, and the other side's emotional or based in fairness. So logic will be useless unless it's paired to intuition. They're on either side of the seesaw. The user is in the middle, holding the axis and making the decisions. If they allow a tilt to one side, then they will be imbalanced. So we're going to look at the word cruel because we all have to deal with cruelty in many different levels, even in our own behavior, even to ourselves and others. So what is cruel in its reduction? It's the sounds. So the sounds are K plus roll, the sound of K, ka, plus the sound of roll, ka plus roll, cruel.
The answer is to cruelty is to release the K, the human child of God, from being ruled. Reason equals re plus s plus on. Sounds and symbols and sequences, when deployed by a human, bend reality. The chaos sources the making of order.
And Sky Daddy is Jupiter and Zeus, but it's also Jupiter, and it runs all the space programs. The universe is entirely reduced right now inside your anatomy, and at once is meshing to the expanding universe. As it expands, you are catching it.
And now we're going to look at the letter S and the pairing of NS. So it's S to NS. Essence is equal to senses. Essence equals ESSE, S.
Plus N's.
Plus N's, and also S plus NS. Add EW for the seesaw of life. The NS holds the axis and contention, while EW, ethereal W, plays the creation game, and that's CG, or 3-7.
Wow. So what other ways do we see the news then?
Well, the news is NEWS, the NSEW, and the NSE plus W. The AV and the UN, the UN, are the same as 6-9 and S and NS. The chaos is the source of order, as above, as below. The S to N's is the same as the letter S to the letters NS. The story of creation in two symbols. Curves and convergences are the only visual measure. Light is the spread into separation and manifestations of the dark axis and unity. Magic, the word, describes and explains the human condition when deconstructed. FM, history begins in Babylon with social alchemy, a form of NLP back then.
But we can go to Greek and look at the word plasma, because ma at the end means land of, and PLAS, plas, means to bend or mold. The Freemasons are FM, but it's also frequency modulation. The controllers, FM, the free, the ma, the sons. Lucy equals the light. Fur equals the bringer. But you come from unity in the dark. So you're a Be-ang, a Be-ang. It equals you and the letter U for the urn, where you reserve and keep all of your experiences. You're an angel and an angle.